from your side, as I can hear some of the background noises? Okay, so I don't want anybody to say that later on that, we did not get the call, we were not aware, or something like that. So I just want to call again and again, everyone, but no response. Okay, all right, no issues. So the this call is recorded so that you guys, those who are not able to attend, even you guys, if want later on, can listen to the recording. Okay, so I shared two letters, and the initial was Benjamin letter. Yes, I hope you guys are aware about that. Yes, Benjamin letter. Anyhow, we'll take that as a second one. So first we will discuss about the main letter, which I have shared in other groups also. Um, so I hope it will be easy for you guys to understand. That is why the sample was shared, so that you guys get some idea of that, from how to um, organize the letter. Now that's very important. So that's what today we are going to discuss. Let me know if you guys are not able to hear me. You can unmute yourself and can even raise your hand during the session. Probably in case on the screen I'll not be, then you guys can connect with that. All right. Now, this letter, you will get a kind of a letter like this. It's written writing subtest nursing, and it will be written time, reading time 5 minutes, and writing time 40 minutes, so total 45 minutes. Now I always say what to do during that 5 minutes, because you are not going to touch the pencil. They will not allow you to touch the pencil. So what you're going to do, you will always read this first line where it is written, you are a nurse, where Toby and his mother came for a treatment. So what it says, you are a nurse where Toby and his mother came for a treatment. Very clearly written. So I will just read this line. So I got a first answer. Who am I? I am a nurse who is taking care of Toby and his mother, both of them. So I will just read the patient name, which says Toby Philip, age 10 days, only 10 days. Mother Maria Philip, 28 years, G1, P1. All right. So I will just read this, and I will directly go to the last portion where it is written writing task is this. Okay. Now what this writing task says? This says write a transfer letter to Miss Margaret, senior community health team, regarding patient and mother's condition. Regarding patient and mother's condition, and address is this. But if I read this task now, I did not get the second answer of my question. And what is my second question? I have told this in the previous class. Anyone? If you guys, anyone
To
can unmute and tell me.
to
What is
whom we are
this?
writing?
Absolutely. To whom we are writing. Now I got the answer from this writing task, that I'm writing to a Margaret as well, Soul, who is a community health team member. Okay, in a community health center. What is the third question?
Purpose of writing.
Thank you. What is the purpose of? Most of the time, it is always written in the writing task that what is the purpose. But sometimes it is not mentioned. Then what you have to do, you have to just go above the and read the plan, discharge plan. Now, what this discharge plan says? It says community nurse to monitor baby's development. Now, read it very carefully, because this is what you are going to add in the intro. Community nurse to monitor baby's development, and weekly mother's health, and post check compliance to post operative activities and breastfeeding pattern. Now, this is what you are going to mention in an introduction, but in a very precise way. Don't copy and paste the same thing. But yes, the important factors should be included. Okay, now I got the answer that why I'm writing. My job is that I have to check the baby's development and monitor the mother's condition and his compliances to the breastfeeding pattern. Right, so this is what is my overall job from this. So instead of writing everything like mother's health and post check compliance to post operative activities and breastfeeding pattern, so basically I can just write, but I have to mention that what to do with the baby and what to do with the mother. So this should be very clearly mentioned in the task, okay, in the introduction. I hope this is cleared. And what is the fourth question? Anybody can tell me? Fourth question.
The person we are referring.
That we already got.
Details of.
The second question. Fourth is the type of letter. What? Yeah, tell me, Vijay. What is the fourth question?
Why we are writing? I mean,
That is
the
purpose.
expansion of the purpose.
Yeah, that is done.
Background.
You did not make notes on that day.
No. The kind of
Anyone made
letter.
notes on that day when I took this session? Fourth question is what is the type of letter? So can anybody tell me the type of letter it is?
It's a transfer letter.
Transfer.
Transfer letter. All right. So what would be the pattern in this transfer letter? Is this a new person to whom you are referring, or an old person, or a known case or unknown case?
It's an unknown case.
Unknown case. So what you are going to tell to that person? Basically every relevant thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what you need to make out the difference between a known and unknown case. And what we should not tell in known case?
The background.
Mm-hmm.
The history.
Yeah, great. All right, so we can now move. This is what you have to do in this 5 minutes, okay? So what you will do, then you will quickly go back to the front again, and then you will see. Now look at here, the father, Mr. Philip, businessman, okay. Now this is the first part, I got the answer. Now second stage is called selecting the relevant case notes. What is relevant and irrelevant? Okay, now remember to always keep in mind to whom you are writing. I'm writing to a community nurse, and my main why I'm referring what is in the plan, discharge plan is only the baby's development and mother's overall health condition. Okay, now I will keep this in mind, and accordingly I will start the relevant notes. Father, businessman. Okay, history says born on 30 LSCS birth with this of guard score 4 increased gas. Is this important? Yes. Is this important?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Why?
Because the baby is only 10 days, so
Yeah. Yeah, and moreover, it is a unknown case. Yeah, it is an unknown case, right? So I have to tell about the baby because he's just born 10 days ago. Right, so moving to the first date, which is written 1/11/2019. Remember, if I'm writing this later on, I will calculate that on which date I'm writing. So as of now, it is 1/11/2019. Weight 3.5, difficulty in breastfeeding, low milk production, and be educated mother regarding feeding techniques. Actually, this letter was quite easy. So because everything is important. So yes, what happened on the next day? The mother is depressed due to feeding difficulty. Okay. Advice given regarding supplementary bottle feed. All right. Okay. Great. So third 11. Now, what happened on a third day? She both discharged, medication were given, jaundice physiotherapy, phototherapy. No heavy lifting and vigorous exercise for 6 weeks. Okay. Now, this was continuously happening, right? First day, second day, third day. On third day, patient discharged. Then after a week, patient came for a follow-up. Toby brought to emergency by his mother complaining of increased gas reflux, vomiting, pain, feeding, and wound site pain and baby latch on. Some of you have used the same word, the same sentence. Remember, this is important. We need to tell what happened today, right? That is what is important. Now, okay, so I will also take this. This is important, objective, no active problem, mother's wound healing well. However, nipple, this is this problem. All right. Diagnosis mother breast nipple infection. Oh, okay. So this was diagnosis. Baby, no issue. Medication, this. Discharge plan, we know that. So basically, in this letter, everything is relevant. There is nothing in this letter which is irrelevant. Now, please let me know the second stage is clear to everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes? Okay. All right. Thank you. Now, third stage is organizing the case notes. That means you should know, like you know the difference in known and unknown case. In a known case, you are not going to mention social history, past medical history, and all that. However, in an unknown case, you need to tell everything, right? Everything related to the person. Okay. Now in this, since in the whole task now I have selected my notes and there's nothing which I have to miss. So how I'm going to decide? I know always important thing, keep in mind the purpose. Don't just start writing the letter immediately. Go back to your purpose. Go through once again that what this discharge plan says, the baby's development. So if I'm going to make my introduction as a community nurse to monitor baby's development, okay, so I'm writing to transfer this baby to for his development and mother for this. Now, I have mentioned this in introduction. Now, this will be my introduction. I will write down a roughly intro you must write, because if you will write directly on the paper and will erase again, that black paper sometimes really irritates to the examiner. So I always recommend intro first, always try on a rough paper, write it. If you know how to write in a 2 3 ways, write in a different way, and then see, select the best thing. So I always suggest this thing during practice also. When you send a letter to me, try to write an introduction in at least 2 or 3 ways. I will tell you which one is the best, but at least from your side there should be 2 3 introduction so that you understand which one is the best and why. Okay, so now this is going to be my introduction. After introduction, first para is an explanation of the introduction as per the assessment criteria. So if in the introduction I'm writing the baby needs development and mother needs this breastfeeding techniques, um, then in first para it has to be why, what happened to them, why they need this observation or monitoring, why. So what is the answer of why? Can anybody tell me what you're going to write in a first para? Is it going to be from starting from here, 1/11/2019?
No, ma'am.
Current issues.
Today's admission.
Current issues.
Current issues.
Current.
Thank you so much. And always remember this thing. What is my purpose? My purpose, baby and mother needs monitoring. So if I will start from here, now let's see, from 1st 11 2019, then the question comes, this patient was admitted on a first and discharged even, but why you are telling me about that? Right? So I need to know about the current issue in the first paragraph, that what happened, why patient need these services now. So the reason I would write that today they both came to, not came, he was, I mean, Toby, of course, 10 days old, was brought by the mother with this and this complaint, and then I have to mention, then I can simply immediately select on, you can use and then make your plan on the task itself. Okay, so there's no issue, you can do use your pencil and write on that in another, and after the 5 minutes, during this 5 minutes, you're going to decide that okay, so this is today visit is going to be my first paragraph. Now quickly tell me the second paragraph. Of course, I'm not going to write each date wise, but I have to write precisely including all these dates in the second paragraph, that on this date he was admitted and this was his mother was educated because of low milk production, and she was depressed, this is this, and they both were discharged is not that important. Jaundice phototherapy is over, so probably not that, but I can, but it's not that important because it is over. All right. No heavy lifting and vigorous exercise for 3 weeks. Yes, I can say that because she visited again before 6 weeks. I can say that. So I can even mention about phototherapy. It will not be wrong if you will mention here. So medication is, yes, important. They both were discharged. It's okay. So you can just give a simple line instead of writing a long sentence that they both were discharged on 3rd 11. So okay, so now I'm very clear that this is going to be my second paragraph, including the this born history. I can write that his Zafgar score was 4 and this and this. Okay, now nothing left in a third para is going to be my, what will be the third? Final conclusion or the request, final request. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Now what is the next stage? Fourth stage. We did this on that day. What is the fourth stage of your letter? What we do on the next stage?
The person who writing.
Yeah, so we have read the questions and all. Then the second part was the selecting the case notes. Third was organizing the letter. I have organized it. Now, fourth stage is transforming the case notes. What it is?
Transforming the gate.
Case notes. So this is what I have to plan. Okay, transforming the case notes. Now, how to transform the case notes? For example, the main mistake which I've seen in the letter which you guys sent me in the introduction. Now we will see how you guys have transformed and how we can do it in a better way. All right. So you guys can open on your WhatsApp, which I have already shared with you, or I can open here as well. I will share that letter. Now this letter, look at this. It is so this is how we start the letter. We write Miss Margaret Soul, name of the person to whom I'm writing, then her designation community health nurse, no address. This address is not given. Let me see
That
if
is only
address
that.
is address Miss Margaret Soul, community health nurse. Okay, this much is given. Community health team. Okay, all right. So okay, all right. Then we will leave the space here after the address, then write the date 9th November 2019 because it is written in very clearly that she was brought today. So today date is given 9th November. This was exam letter basically in 2019. So reference Toby Philip, age 10 days. Now my question is that why you didn't mention the name of the mother? Because it is given here Write a transfer letter to Miss Margaret Soul Community Health Team regarding patient and mother's condition. Very clearly given. Yes?
Yeah.
Patient and mother. So you should mention here the mother name as well. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm writing to refer Toby Phillip, who has been experiencing hearing difficulties. Okay. I mean, you are writing it separately to make it more clear to the examiner. Sounds good. Toby Phillip, who has been experiencing feeding difficulties. It's a good sentence. Has been. Can anybody tell me what is this tense? Has been?
Present perfect.
Present perfect.
Con- Continuous, madam.
Thank you. Present perfect continuous tense.
Experiencing.
Yeah, so present, when we use this tense, present perfect continuous?
Some incident which started just before and still it is continuing.
Not just before, dear. Anything, any problem which is in the past and still
Yes.
continued.
Yes, yes. I mean to
Okay,
say that.
so yeah. Okay, so that is called present perfect continuous tense because since this is clearly written, he has this problem since birth, right? So we can perfectly use this tense, which is called has been. Experiencing feeding difficulties, his mother, Mrs. Phillip, has breast nipple infection. She has breast nipple infection. When this was diagnosed? Breast nipple infection. When this was diagnosed? On today visit?
No, ma'am.
On the
Yes? Look at the
No, no.
diagnosis where it is written. Not here. It's given feeding technique, mother is depressed, advised post discharge, medication or jaundice. No, where it is written that she had it before today's visit? Not given. So basically, this is diagnosis is done on today's visit. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So his mother, Mrs. Philip, has, okay, fine, has you can use because it is diagnosed today, has breast nipple infection. All right, clear. They require your continuing care and management. I think in this introduction, um, I would say that it is very well explained, and it not only very well, very clearly explained. So I can give 3 marks to this intro. Remember, your introduction has 3 marks, 0 to 3, and based on that, you'll get the score. Now, why? Because some of I have seen in some of the letters, like I'm writing to refer Toby Philip and her mother. They require your assistance. We can write in that way, and but as an examiner, it should be very clear to me that they both need different assistance, right? If you have written the different assistance, then probably okay. So he has written it in a very simple way. He did not make any sentence complex here, but I got the clarity. So I would say that yes, I can give 3 marks for that. I hope it is clear. Okay, so moving to the first para, today Toby was brought to emergency department by his mother with the complaints of increased gastric reflux and vomiting. Clear. Now, Mrs. Philip reported pain while feeding and wound side pain while baby latched on. This I did not understand at all. This was not making any, I mean, there is a grammatical issue, of course, in the sentence, but when you read it, that's what I say. Don't try to copy in the same way as it is written there. Okay, so Mrs. Philip reported. Now, first, you need to tell about the Toby with complaints of gastric reflux and vomiting. He was on assessment. Toby had no this problems, and Okay, Mrs. Phillip reported at pain while feeding. Mrs. Phillip reported pain while feeding. While feeding, she get pain on a wound side only, right? So this is, I think you need to correct because latch on and while feeding probably make the same thing sense. Okay, so I would say there's some duplication, so you need to correct this line. On assessment, Toby had no, however, mother has painful, this thing, painful lacerated nipples. Avoid using a word therefore. I know you, I have seen this letter the guys use very frequently. Avoid using it. Better is for that because this make it a complex sentence. Okay, instead of
Okay.
connecting. Good. So this is really good. So you can use as lacerated nipples. For that, she was prescribed with fluconazole cream and Panadol Forte. Clear?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so Toby was delivered through an is okay. Some of you have written LSCS, avoid the short forms. With weight of this, his UPGAR score was 4 and had increased during subsequent day. Due to breastfeeding difficulties that her child developed, she was educated regarding feeding techniques and use of supplementary bottle feed prior to their discharge on this. Nicely written. So it would be greatly appreciated. It's all good, I would say, a good letter. You can get a B for this definitely, but yes, it would be great if you can just keep these minor mistakes in mind.
Okay, ma'am.
Right, so let's take another letter. Thulia is there in the group? See, no, okay. Thulia is not there, so, but I would discuss a letter as well. I would like to show. Yeah, the same one. Margaret Soul, Baby Todd. I'm writing to refer Baby Toby and his mother, Mrs. Phillip, to your care. Now, look at so how we write in a correct way. So, if you are combining, now this is another way. That's what I say, you guys. Try to write in a different ways of introduction. At least write 2, 3 types of intro in your letter when you send to me, so that I can tell you which one is the best. So refer baby Toby and his mother Philip to your care. Now instead of this she put comma here. So this is what is the mistake. It's good to put a full stop here and make this as a next line, that they require your assistance in monitoring baby's development, including mother's health post operatively and breastfeeding difficulty. Now what's including? Now, why we need to use this word here, including? You right. That's what I was saying you during that time. That when you write, because they both need a different care. They both need a different kind of a management. So write it separately. Never try to make it so complex that it get wrong. So write it simple, that they care. You can simply write that Toby requires monitoring for his development and mother needs monitoring or whatever the breastfeeding teaching or education on that. So or monitoring regarding what is given in the task, you can write that word. So but yes, so I would say that for this, because of the mixings, probably she'll get 1.5 for this introduction. Remember, your introduction is the face of your letter. Face. When we get a newspaper in the morning, we always read the first page and the headline. Because that is the face of the newspaper. They give so much importance on that. That's what you need to focus on introduction. It should be clear. In To make it complex, don't make it so difficult for a person to understand. Okay, so baby Toby was brought to emergency with complaints of this. His mother was experiencing pain in wound feeding. On assessment, no active problem. However, mother is diagnosed with this and this. For that, okay, probably she missed another thing. She did not write here the diagnosis of the mother. That's very important. Mother's diagnosis. You did not write the current situation of the mother. So that is another miss. Basically, this line should come there. It's commenced on this. Okay. So Toby was born this perfectly fine for her, and a few mistakes here. That's it. But again, though there is no mistakes here in the paragraph, but the clarity was not in the intro, and again in the first paragraph, few mistakes. Probably they'll give her C, and the score would be around, the 290 or so. Very less, only 10 marks of difference between C plus because of this minor mistakes. So keep that in mind. This everything is really important. Okay. Now coming to the Niba, are you there? Guys, Niba, let me just see if Niba is there. No, she told me she'll join. Okay, probably she'll join in some time. I will hold on her letter. So Geeta, right? Okay. All right, so Geeta, quite impressed the way you have written in the first attempt, I would say. So yes, you wrote here well, 9 November, dear this Toby, and also please mention mother's name because in the discharge plan it is written for both. So then you must write both, okay? I'm writing to refer Toby Philip and his mother, Mrs. Philip, who was diagnosed. Now, this is confusing. Who? Who is this who? How, as a assessor, I will not be able to understand that this who was diagnosed. This who is for Toby or for mother. This is very confusing. Now, if it is for the who was diagnosed with breast nipple infection, they require, then you didn't write anything for the Toby. They require your care and management on. They require your care and management on baby's development. No. So this is not making sense. And mothers, when you are writing here separately, and mother's health and post check compliance to such a big line, then why you are writing here they? If you're using they, you should probably in one sentence write about both things, and that can be written only in case if the purpose is similar for both of them. If it is not, then please try to write in a simple way. I hope you got my idea what I'm trying to say.
Yes, ma'am.
So can we write in a simple way? Either you first write about Toby and then write about the mother,
Okay, ma'am.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I want you to rewrite this one. So today, baby Toby was brought to emergency by his mother with complaints of increased gastric reflux, vomiting, along with his mother, Mrs. Philip, experiencing pain. When we write the word along, okay, now this is very important to understand. Along, for example, I'll give you an example. Um, Mr. X presented to emergency with um, high fever along with some nausea, mild nausea and vomiting. He had fever along with this and this problem also. Okay, then we use long. Now here you used along to describe about two people. Now this is what is the main issues in that letter. Not only with you during given exam time, this is very few people got B in this letter. I still remember why, because letter was very simple. Only thing, they were not able to write explain it clearly about Toby and about mother. If you will try to mix, no, it will become obvious. So try to remember that write it separately. Toby was brought, his mother complains of this. Write about Toby only. You cannot use along with for to combine the baby symptoms to with the mother symptoms. Clear? So this is a wrong word selection here. So that's how it is. Some mistake. Let me see if anybody has joined. No one. Again calling Rashmi. Sheena is also not there today. Shiba is also not there. Okay, alright, so let me try. So let me just read out this now. Baby Toby was brought to do so long with this. You can simply write with complaints of increased gastric reflex and vomiting, and put a full stop. Okay, so now you can write about mother that his mother experiencing pain, complained of pain while feeding on a wound site. Basically, where is her wound? Her wound, okay, wound is on the because of cesarean, right? So his mother experiencing pain on wound site and while feeding the baby. Very simply, right? Okay. On examination, baby. Now this is what we don't repeat the word baby every time. This baby has to be written only in the introduction here. Even that is not important here. If you have written in the here, probably fine, but don't repeat the baby word in the letter. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is for all. Okay, remember, this is the rule. Don't repeat the word baby always. Okay, now initially Toby has no active issue, were cracked, and again, including wild discharge. Now, wild discharge again was not making sense. So remember, don't stretch the right simple sentence. If you will simply write like his mother, why are you writing here his mother? Because once you have used here his mother, don't repeat that sentence again, because that gives a wrong impression to the examiner that you don't have an idea to write with the different sentence. Okay, so never repeat the sentences with the same starting again. Probably name is given, you can use the name, or you can write the name here that Mrs. Philip experienced pain, this is this, and here you can write his mother. That no need of his mother, you can simply write, because you are still talking about mother, that now his wound is healing well, and this and this were cracked, and while discharge was present, for which she was prescribed with this and this. Clear? Initially, Toby was born. Initially, Toby was born. I mean, you know what's the meaning of this initially? That means Toby is born again. Okay. So this word, wrong selection of
Yes.
initial. So we use initially, for example, when patient visited me 2, 3, 4 times. I will say initially he came with this problem, and then now this is this. We cannot use initially for the people that initially he was born on this and later again he born. No, right? So this is wrong selection. So Toby was born on 30th October. We don't write anything on 30th over like this, only 30. True emergencies, don't use abbreviations. Okay, no abbreviations with weight of this. Okay, his Apgar score was 4. Okay, and he has had gastric reflux. On subsequent days, very good sentence. Instead of writing the days, I would say yes, very good phrase. You can use it like this. On subsequent days, his mother was experienced difficulty in breastfeeding. Again, okay, you can write mother or Mrs. Toby. Mother is also fine. We experience difficulty in breastfeeding due to low milk production and pain. Now, you said experience difficulty in breastfeeding due to low milk production and pain. Where is the pain? Therefore, she was educated regarding. Okay. Mm-hmm. She was educated. Instead of therefore, we use basically for the present situation, not with the past situations. Okay. For past situation, we use the word hence. That's why I say try to avoid these words if not clear. Remember, therefore we use for a current situation, and hence we use for a past situation. Clear? Hence, she was educated regarding feeding techniques. However, Mrs. Philip was depressed due to feeding difficulty. Thus, she was advised to initiate supplementary. Thus, again after thus, there will be comma. Thus, advised. Now, anybody can tell me the difference. I'm going to write here a device with CE and a device with SE. Can anybody tell me the difference between both the device? Anyone? Because this is a very common mistake. I want you all to clear with these mistakes.
Advice means um, a particular sentence. I mean, a particular what to say.
Which advice you're talking about?
I will tell them. He advised to take this medicine means that is a the doctor advised that is an action.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Then advice means um,
Okay. So anyone else? Yes. Who all are there, guys? Anybody would like to tell me? Shiba? Shiva, what happened to Sheena today?
ADVI. Sheena is on duty, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. All right. I think you must be knowing
Yeah.
it. Yes, tell me.
ADVICE advice, that is noun,
Mm-hmm.
and ADVISC it is verb. So when
I
we are using that here we can use she was advised means someone is advised, that is verb. So we can use the VISC.
Thank you so much, Shiba. Very well explained. Okay, so remember, guys, the basic difference between both the things. Remember, advised, you very well said, Biju, that it is a action. Action means verb. So whenever, because he advised, it was an action taken by a doctor, right? So advised is always a verb. So when we use advice and there is another verb in the sentence, then it is, this advice means noun, not verb. Lot of difference between this, and it is a very common mistake. So I want you guys to be very clear. You can never use ed, second, third form, right? First is advised, second advised as devised. I can never use ed with the c, advice. I can never use with that because that is noun. It is a verb, so I have to use advise. Is that clear to everyone? Okay. For example, here I have written thus advised her to. It is a wrong sentence again. I have to use a subject. So I will write thus she was advised. Make a proper sentence. She was advised to um, to initiate supplementary feeding, or she was advised for supplementary feeding. Simple. Can anybody make any sentence with advice, which is a noun, for a better clarity? Just think.
Doctor give advice.
Sorry.
Doctor give advice. Give advice.
Mm-hmm.
So give is verb in that. So advice is C, the
I,
noun.
I I didn't get
Or
you, Shiba.
advice, advice one, like it will come like that.
Mm-hmm. No, it is not. If I can use even first form also, he will advise to the doctor will advise this medicine to the patient. So which advice it would be? Can anybody tell me? Doctor will advise augmentin to the patient. Yes? Which advice it is? Quickly.
C.
Now it is VISE because it is a verb. Look at the sentence. Write it on your copies. I'm sure everybody is with pen and paper. He was, sorry, he will, or I said, doctor will advise augmentin to the patient. Doctor will advise medicine to the patient. Now look at the sentence. Subject is there, doctor. Will, helping verb, okay. Medicine is a noun, okay, all right, because it's object which is going to give, all right. Now, is there any verb in this sentence? It's only advise. Doctor will advise this medicine to the patient. So this advice is a verb. So it will be with ADVISE. Doctor will advise. This verb will be always next to the helping verb. Subject plus helping verb plus verb. All right. So this is a ADVISE. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And when we use advise, when there is already a other verb in the group. Okay, so I'm giving you guys 1 minute to think about it. Make a sentence quickly where there is another verb and you use advise. Think. Okay. Yes, done?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, tell me.
Doctor given advices regarding medication.
Hmm, thank you. Okay. So same way, patient needs advice regarding smoking or regarding breastfeeding. We are doing the same letter since. Now, patient needs advice regarding breastfeeding. So, can anybody tell me what is needs here? I told you it is a simple present subject plus V1 plus S or ES. So it is already written patient needs. Need is a verb. So I have used singular since its subject is a singular. So I've used S. Patient needs advice on breastfeeding. So this advice is a CE.
CE.
It is not a verb because verb is need.
Okay, ma'am.
I hope it is clear to you guys now.
Yes.
Please make a notes and write at least 5 examples. Make a line between advise and advise, both C and SC, and write 5 examples for each. I want to see this quiz by tomorrow.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay? Great, because this is a very common mistake, so I want you guys to keep in mind it should not be repeated. Alright, so bottle feed, both were discharged home. See, if you will write this separately that this both were discharged home on 3rd November, so it is not that important. So try to make it in another way, or you can simply write, please note that they were discharged on 3rd November. Okay, so it would be greatly appreciated. Rest is perfectly fine. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Shiva, did you send the letter? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, this one is yours. Okay. See how many lines are there? One, two, three, four, five. Remember, first of all, this is, I think, a small notebook. Always use, is it a A4 size? No.
A4 size, ma'am.
A4 size. In A4 size, if you're using one, two, three, four, five, 6 lines, very big. Make sure your intro should not be more than 3 or 4 lines. Maximum 4.
Oh,
All right. So that's what, now this part is okay. And I'm writing to refer Toby and his mother Maria. Maria? So this name is given. So here you also missed it. Okay. Maria who has been diagnosed. But then nobody else is mentioned, guys. If it is given Maria, then you must use it. Mother Maria who has been diagnosed with breast nipple infection. Okay. Has been. Can we use this tense has been here? Shiba? I just explained now in previous letter where we use has been, right? When anything is in the
yeah,
past
ma'am.
and still continued.
It is diagnosed before. Still, she has, na?
Can you show me where it is written in the task that she had it before? Where it is written, can you show me?
Mm, in
See here
the
it is also not given. It is simple written educated. On second also this and in third he was discharged. Where it is written? It is only written in today's visit. Nipple found cracked, white discharge, that means infected. And this is how she was diagnosed with breast nipple infection. That is what
uh,
she is written diagnosis. Right? So that means it was not there previously. Now, today.
so that there is need only who has diagnosed. No need been.
Yeah, who
What I
has
need to write.
diagnosed is also not a good because it is about today. Who is who is recovering from because it is about to die, right? He is
Uh,
already diagnosed and you gave medicine. The better would be right about simple present, who is recovering from breast nipple infection. Okay.
mm.
Okay. They require to monitor baby. Now, this is a very wrong sentence. I did not understand this at all. Now, they require. Who is they here? Can you clarify this to me? They is mother and
Toby
baby.
and
Right?
uh,
Now read the
yes.
sentence carefully with me. They require to monitor. They require to monitor baby's growth. That means they both need to monitor baby's growth.
Mm.
So this sentence is not making any sense. Okay, development and this. So rewrite this intro. I hope it is clear to you now. Please.
Then what I will, how I will write, ma'am, instead of they, what I will write? Because both of them need, na?
Yeah, write it separately. That's what I was explaining in the previous letters. Because both have a different, one require monitoring for growth, that is baby. Mother require different thing, right? So write it differently. See, you have written they
That time,
require to monitor baby's growth. That makes sense. Mother and baby needs to monitor baby's growth. The baby cannot monitor himself.
mm.
So even if you're writing in this way, it has to be they require your monitoring for their there again you will be confused for baby's growth. So avoid this kind of a sentence. Write very simple. I'm writing to refer Toby, who requires your monitoring for this, and her mother, who is recovering from breast nipple infection. She requires your guys. I'm sorry for my background noise because there is a wedding in the next house, and it is making tough for you guys. I'm sorry. My apologies. I hope I'm
Madam,
audible to you
we
guys.
been
Yes, ma'am.
we can write twice.
Sorry.
You, as you said, you just now for Toby, I have to mention who is been
Mm-hmm.
experiencing difficulty in feeding, and I can say Miss Maria who's been recovering from breast nipple infection. I can write twice, like
Yeah, write it separate. Like first you write for Toby and then write separately in the intro for mother.
the same formation of who is been recovering. That twice I can write, ma'am.
No, no, not twice. Not twice.
Uh,
See, this is actually a good thing. I want you guys to work on its introduction. You write at least three types of different introduction and send to me. Biju, even for you, though your letter is correct, but that was simple. But if you have to write in a different way, in a complex sentence, how you can write, at
Mm,
least try to write in that different ways.
sure.
But Shiba, I hope you got the answer which I am trying to say you. See, I don't want to tell you my words. I will tell you definitely. Once you guys will send me your intro, I will tell you. But I don't want to fix my words. I don't want to paste my words on your mind. I want you guys to use your mind and explore.
Okay, ma'am. That time the introduction will be very big, na? So separately, first we will write the Toby's diagnosis, then Toby's requirement,
No, there
then
is
my
no
Maria's
diagnosis for the Toby. You will simply write, I'm writing to refer Toby who requires monitoring for this, and her mother who is recovering from. You can simply write her mother requires who is recovering from this breast nipple infection. She requires services for this and this, monitoring for this. Let's see how do you guys write. Maybe you can write even what I'm saying better than that. But this sentence is absolutely wrong that they require to monitor baby's growth. It makes sense. They means the mother and baby are going to monitor baby's growth. You can simply write they require your services. You're writing to community health nurse. They require your services to monitor their condition.
okay.
Try to write. I'll tell you then if I'll correct definitely. Okay,
Okay.
so today Toby was accompanied by his. Today Toby was accompanied. Now this is very important. Don't forget the passive. Today Toby was accompanied by his mother to emergency department with complaints. T was missing here. There's no word complaints. TS of increased gastric reflux and vomiting. Apart from this, Maria. Apart from this, okay, I can say Maria experienced pain while feeding. Okay. On examination, baby has no active problem. However, Maria's nipple found cracked and white discharge is present. Discharge singular is not R. For which um, they needs continuous care at you, for which she needs, because here you're talking about. Okay, so if you're cracking, that's also fine if you're writing about both of them. For which they need continuous care at your service. At your services, nahi. It is a community health nurse. She is going to come home. They are not going to her service. Okay, for which they need continuous care from your for which they continuous need your services or continuous care. All right, so this was okay. This paragraph is perfectly fine. I would say very well written, because this the way you have written apart from this actually it's good. So Toby was born, spelling was wrong. Toby was born on 30th October with birth weight of this. At birth, his Apgar score was 4. Now you don't need to write at birth. Of course, it is Apgar score is at birth only. So you can simply write his Apgar score was 4 and increased gastric reflux. What do you mean by this? His Apgar score was 4 and increased gastric reflux was noted. This is incomplete sentence. Clear? On the subsequent day. Now, on the subsequent day, not days, there were many days. On the subsequent days, or you can also see such a long, this is what it makes difference. Now, you look at this. On the subsequent days, how many words? 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? 4 words. And if I will write
Ma'am, on the
subsequently,
the next day, I didn't get you, ma'am. On the subsequent day എന്ന് വരുമ്പോ that on the subsequent day means on the next day or on the other days.
yeah, because there are many days mentioned, right? First, second, third. You better you use the days instead of writing about each day. But let's say even if you are talking about the other day, let's say you are talking about other day, then you can write subsequently. Why you are using such a long sentence on the subsequent days? Because it takes 4 words. It gives the wrong impression to the examiner that you are trying to, expand the letters unnecessarily. That is what I say, that write precisely. Precisely means cut short. So instead of writing 4 words, I can write 1 word which is subsequently. Right? So increase gastric. Subsequently, Maria, what is this? Maria, right?
Yes.
His gastric reflux was noted. Subsequently, Maria explained inadequate complaint of, no, then subsequently is not the right word here. So you have to, because it's not making sense. You don't need to write anything on the other day when you are writing about the complaint, that this is not required. You can simply write was noted. Maria complained of inadequate milk production. Maria also, you can write Maria also. Okay. Also is also not required. So you can simply write Maria complained of. Remember, whenever you are using the verb, the second verb with complained, of will always come along with that. Remember this, okay? Maria complained of inadequate milk production along with pain and difficulty in feeding. Okay, all right. Therefore, she was advised regarding bottle feed. All right, good. Now, in addition, she was also educated about the importance. Now, can you tell me the meaning of in addition? Shiba, can you explain me the meaning of in addition?
From that.
Yes, in addition means
Additionally.
additionally. Is this an additional thing?
No.
No, then why you have written
No.
in addition? This is the main thing, right? Not additional thing. Remember that. That is why I always suggest do not use therefore, because this therefore and hence people get confused. Do not use in addition. You just fix with your subsequently, as a result. However, these 2 3 words are more. It's enough to show the examiner that you know the words, okay? Because these type of words always leaves with the confusion to the examiner. Please don't use, okay? So in addition was not required here. She was also educated about the importance and techniques of breastfeeding. I think the best word was here. You have written already here, therefore she was advised regarding bottle feed. Yeah, so she was educated regarding the techniques of breastfeeding. So you can combine this thing. Therefore, she was advised for bottle feed and the techniques of breastfeeding. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. And your second part. This guys, you can please, when you click a photo, before you send to me, the option comes on the top on your mobile, crop. Please crop the photo so that I can see only the page, okay? So in view of the above information, it would be greatly in view of the above. Again, don't use extra word. Wrong impression. In view of the above, comma, it would be greatly appreciated if you could provide them ongoing care. Kindly check her compliance to post-operative activities and breastfeeding pattern. Very nicely written. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so
Thank
keep
you.
that in mind next time. All right, I want you guys to rewrite this letter, of course. Lissy, you're there? You just now you sent, okay. What else? I hope I have discussed everyone's letter who is in the class.
Yes, ma'am.
I think
Yes,
Nika
ma'am.
has not written this letter. She has written Benjamin letter. Okay, I want to show you. I don't know if you guys have gone through this Benjamin letter. I want to discuss this letter in the class. When you all will write this letter, then I will discuss. Okay. So please write this next letter of Benjamin. Okay. So I will go to Lisa's letter now. Okay. So Lizzie, can you hear me? Yes, Lizzie, I'm audible. Lizzie, are you there? Lizzie is muted. I hope Lizzie you can hear me. I cannot unmute you. You have to unmute yourself. But I want you to please listen
Yes,
to what I'm going to say now.
yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
first of all, Lissy, we don't write day in this format. You know the format of the date. Yeah, even if the same date you have to write, it would be 19th November, comma 2021.
Okay,
Oh, so you have written 2019 in the same way.
okay.
Clear? So this is the
Yes, ma'am.
format. You can
Okay,
write it, it is your wish. You can write the date here or you can write the date here also with the gap. But it is okay. This practice is also okay. All right. They will not cut any marks for that. It is well accepted. So Toby, because this is for very clearly written in the discharge plan for mother also. So you must guys, nobody has mentioned about mother, so mention about her also. I'm writing to request an ongoing care and monitoring for Miss Toby along with his mother. Along with we used for one person. We cannot along use to combine two people. Remember that.
yes, ma'am.
This is a wrong selection. I can simply write, if you're writing in this way, ongoing care and monitoring for Miss Toby Philip and his mother.
Okay,
And his mother. Miss Philip, in your facility, are you transferring the patient to the community health center or to
no,
the
ma'am.
community health nurse?
No, 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 ma'am.
You're not
Community health.
referring. Yeah, I think this was the good, easy one. If you have written in this way, also, I'm writing to request an ongoing care and monitoring for Toppy and his mother. Now, here you can write, she is recovering from breast nipple infection.
Okay, ma'am.
Here,
Yes, ma'am.
now this is a simple. You can also write in this way. However, you know, but you will not get the complete marks for this too. Still, there's no mistake. The reason being, because it is very clearly given in the purpose, in the discharge plan, that what kind of assistance Toby need and what kind of assistance mother needs. Very clearly mentioned. Once it is clearly mentioned in the discharge plan, we should write the same exact thing in the introduction.
Yes, ma'am.
All right?
Yes.
So please repeat that, okay? So Toby was born on this. You got the answer now that it is
Yes.
completely wrong?
I got, ma'am.
Yeah, so this is your first para, and this is your second para, madam. Wrong organization. Okay,
I
so however, I will just check your transformation of the case notes, how you have written it. So Toby was born on this by an emergency cesarean section with birth weight of this very good line. His Apgar score was 4 and he had increased gastric reflux. And he had increased gastric reflux. Apgar score 4 and he had increased, okay. He had increased gastric reflux, okay. On subsequent days, Mr. Philip seemed difficulty in breast on subsequent days. Um, okay, Miss Philip seemed. Mrs. Philip had difficulty. Mrs. Philip had difficulty in breastfeeding and what is this? And
think breast.
depressed owing to pain and low milk production. Very nicely written. I would say a good sentence. She was educated regarding breastfeeding technique. Depressed. Now, what is a very good word to write here? Because she was depressed. So I can write as a result.
Okay.
She was educated regarding breastfeeding techniques and supplementary bottle feeds, and they were discharged on very nice. Now, this thing, transformation of case notes, it's good. Today, Toby was brought by his mother with complaints of increased gastric reflux and vomiting. She verbalized, comma.
Okay.
Mrs. Philip verbalized she has pain while feeding because it is a different subject, right? So you must use a comma. She has pain while feeding and wound side pain while baby latch on. Okay. She has pain on wound side to make it easier. She has pain on wound side and while feeding the baby.
Oh,
Okay. On examination, baby has no active problem. So correct this line. On examination, baby has no active problem. However, his mother's nipple found cracked, painful, and showed white discharge. The medications. Then what will come here? Subsequently,
no, ma'am.
or I can simply write showed white discharge. For that,
For that. Okay.
that makes very simple for examiner to connect with the task.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Okay, because that's really important, that
Okay.
how you connect with the examiners should be able to. For that, medications were prescribed for her breast nipple infection. You don't need to write because this is the repetition.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so
Yep.
for that, write the name of the medication if it is mentioned. If not, then you can write like this.
Okay.
Considering the above, it would be greatly okay. Now I would say, if I look at this letter, then it is a very good letter. The way you have written, you have showed a very good way of transforming the case note. That grammatical point of view, probably you will get 7 out of 6, no, 6 out of 7. So, but main issue is organization is wrong.
Yes.
Why? You know, for that, because of this reason, you will directly get 250 for this letter, though it is very nicely written.
Okay, ma'am.
Always remember to avoid this mistake. My purpose, what is my purpose? My purpose is to give care to Toby and mother. Then I need to tell in the first paragraph why they both need care now. That means it will always be a current situation to mention in the first
Okay.
paragraph.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay, ma'am. Okay, understood.
I hope clear.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, ma'am,
So,
clear.
yeah, anybody who has no clarity, please tell me. I must say, you guys did a good job. So I'm impressed with your letters. However, please a little bit work on an introduction. I know this you can write in a complex way, but when you write, keep in mind that it should be very simple so that others also the examiner understand that what you are trying to say. Okay, anybody has any question regarding this? So I think I will give you, it is 8:29. In next half an hour, you can send me your intros and then I will send you the actual introduction. Clear? Yeah? Anybody has
Yes.
any questions in mind? Yeah, so those who have to write this letter again, so please write so that you understand it. All right?
Okay, ma'am.
No questions from anyone? Okay, then see you guys tomorrow.
Okay, ma'am.
So what will be your shift tomorrow, Lizzie?